A new LEGO Star Wars won't bring your childhood back. It can't. It can conjure up lived experiences, and playing together with others can bring back those fond memories of school breaks and best childhood friends, but the Skywalker Saga isn't the game of your childhood. It never will be. I'm 26, so LEGO Star Wars the video game came out when I was 8. The game came out in March, and in May of the same year I waited in line with my blue extendable lightsaber, you still had to flick your wrist to extend the blade back then, to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters. I waited with my dad, the man that made watching the original trilogy a bi-monthly experience and my only advocate for why this 8-year-old was watching his first PG-13 movie. It was everything I could have ever hoped for. Star Wars had been a part of my life before Revenge of the Sith, of course, but as I sat in that theater watching Anakin and Obi-Wan duel on Mustafar, I couldn't help but think that I was finally experiencing what my dad had described when he sat in a movie theater in Berkeley, California in 1977 and ducked when the first Star Destroyer roared overhead. The LEGO Star Wars I am and will continually talk about for most of this video is the original game, which was only the prequel trilogy. I think most people would go to the complete saga, an amazing title, but I think we have come so far in each consecutive release that it's easy to forget where it all started. In LEGO Star Wars the video game, the hub world was only Dexter's Diner, only 3 movies to play through, and the character selection only limited to those movies, with some secrets thrown in, of course. What was wild about that first LEGO Star Wars game is that it spoiled Revenge of the Sith for most kids. Again, it came out in March, and Revenge of the Sith was out in May. I got to play the LEGO Battle of Mustafar over and over and over again, albeit only at friends' houses because I wasn't allowed to have video games at that age. The little snippets that I got were so fun and funny and made the more intense subject matter much more digestible to my 8-year-old brain. And in the age of licensed shovelware games, LEGO Star Wars stood out for the level of care and polish that the game had towards its source material. I think that if most Star Wars fans over the age of 10 had their way, the sequel series, and some of the prequel series, would not be included in the games at all. Purists want the experience that gives them the greatest hits version of the films and leaves out the cringy or eye-rolling moments, and even whole movies that don't fit into that bubble. Here is where LEGO Star Wars has always excelled above other Star Wars games. They are all kill and no fill. Every moment is an action-packed, giggle-inducing set piece that leaves out banking treaties and family lineages. You are playing, in a video game, exactly what you'd be playing if you bought a LEGO set. The translation from plastic to polygon was phenomenal in the sense that I could finally live out my LEGO pod racing dreams in an environment that actually looked like the movie, instead of the nebulous landscape of my backyard. We will never get that LEGO Star Wars game again. As of the release of this video, it's been 18 years since the release of LEGO Star Wars, and you can mourn it, you can emulate it, you can boot up your 6th generation console and play it old school style, but it will never exist again in the way that we knew it. But that's okay. It's not for us anymore. The type of game that the original LEGO Star Wars was has been iterated upon and adjusted for each consecutive console and made obsolete by its sheer endurance in terms of its gameplay mechanics. It was time for a change. The Skywalker Saga has become the Breath of the Wild of the series, offering a more open approach to its gameplay and mechanics. This is the standard for most games now. I mean, how can LEGO Star Wars compete with something like Genshin Impact, or a Fortnite, or a Minecraft, for God's sake? I said I was only going to talk about the original game, but I gotta mention the Skywalker Saga a little bit more, because I loved every second of the prequels, every I hate sand and Jar Jar Binks moment of it, and I know that out there somewhere there's an 8-year-old that holds Finn, Poe, Rey, and maybe even Kylo Ren as their heroes. That they love every second of Episode 9 the same way I loved every second of Episode 2. Who only wants to experience for the first time what it was like to free play a level as Jango Fett because he is obviously the coolest character. I mean, that jetpack? Come on. The Skywalker Saga keeps the dream and imagination alive, and I need to take a back seat. I guess I'm saying I'm longing for the days of sibling brawls over who follows who, using the same 3 lightsaber moves over and over and over again, and getting to play as Darth Maul to fight Darth Maul in the Duel of Fates. All I can do is enjoy the immaculately crafted Skywalker Saga and cry when that opening cinematic plays. Cry as a Star Wars fan, yes, but also cry because I know that even though it's not the same game, this will be some 8-year-old's first LEGO Star Wars experience, and what an experience it will be.